So at close range, it's just Sean Penn, Christopher Walken movie. I can't really understand what this movie was trying to be, if I'm honest. I mean, it feels quite corny, if I'm honest, like the wrong kind. Like, those kinds of corny movies that you enjoy and you think they're stupid, but they're kind of fun, nothing to be taken seriously. Um, but this is just a corny movie that can't really figure out if it's a crime movie or a romantic movie. And I actually enjoyed the romantic side more, and that wasn't corny. Um, but the crime whole bit was. I mean, it was just so unaffecting and just so limp and boring. I mean, and the only threat at the end is really the bit at the end when obviously violent things happen and other things. But uh, for me, I just found that there was too much build up to extreme violence, and Christopher Walken seemed a bit wooden, I thought, even. I mean, there isn't really any, I didn't really feel any threat from him, and also that I only really see his animalistic nature come out near the end, where he starts doing something quite unfortunate to somebody. Um, it just seemed like, I know it's an 80s movie, but it just seemed so corny with that stupid moustache he had on, and I was just like, is this a joke? I mean, it just looks absolutely ridiculous, and I can't take it seriously. And Sean Penn is actually really good in this movie, and I think there's a really good film struggling to come out of this, and it's just a bit of a mess. And Sean Penn seems to like exposing his body a lot in this movie, and I'm watching this movie like, oh my god, like, what's going on? Wow! It just like I'd never seen him expose so much of his body before, and perhaps this was when he was going out with Madonna. I don't know, because at the end it actually says written and performed by Madonna. So is that a sort of a wink wink thing to it's for Madonna, because I just take all my clothes off, yeah. Um, so I mean, the thing is, for me, the romantic side of it works, the other side does not, and it's really limp. And by limp, I mean it's just it takes so long for those things to happen, and there's no real involvement of Christopher Walken apart from he's this detached father from the family that's supposed to be this crime person, but I never got that until like near the end of the movie, and he just seems a bit standoffish, like a loner, and doesn't really do anything in the movie for obviously most of the running time up until like the last half an hour. And Sean Penn was part of the crime and romantic thing, so he had two things going on, and he seemed to be more interested in the crime bit of it than Christopher Walken did, if that's just the way I saw it. And another thing is that I know it's 80s and it's corny and hey, let's just smash rocks for a montage, but for some reason I couldn't overlook it. When 80s stuff is kind of like, oh my god, look back at that, but 80s stuff is cool to look back at, but then people say stuff in the 80s can be corny, then look right here. They've got people smacking rocks on the floor in a montage. You're like, what? I mean, this is just ridiculous. I mean, said, "Oh yeah, just smash some rocks on the floor." The director's probably like, "Yeah, look real corny, real 80s, yeah." And it's just no, it's just pathetic, and it's really stupid the bit near the end, which I feel like I shouldn't spoil it, but oh my god, it's just really ridiculous. One bit near the end, and some of it's so predictable, it's almost laughable. Like near the end, it's just like, wow, you really went somewhere where other movies you go, yeah, let's not do this. Oh, it's been in so many movies that if you do that, you get shot. Oh, it's just like, oh, come on. For me, it was flat and bland, and it was just boring and not really that interesting. And the romantic thing was the only thing they had going for it. And Sean Penn and that actress who I'd never seen before. But apart from that, it's pretty just Like, oh, come on, is something going to happen now? And there's not really any plot to speak of apart from he's a detached father and he does criminal stuff like stealing tractors. And wow, it's amazing. You steal tractors for a living. I'm sure that's bringing in the big money. You know, it's not exactly like Soprano stuff where they're laundering money for doing actual crimes. What's the whole thing of stealing a tractor? What's so big about that? Like, oh yeah, we'll get loads of money. We'll just steal a tractor and. Uh, wow, I mean, it really shows the 80s as a downfall, doesn't it? Of just stupid plot points. They're just ridiculous. And there's a scene where putting a gun to a caretaker because they're taking a tractor, and you're like, whoa. I mean, I know the movie's set in the country, but does it have to be so self-aware that it's corny and stupid? It's just, I really just didn't understand what was going on with this movie. It's just all over the place. Sean Penn's a brilliant actor, but the rest of it is just a mishmash of missed opportunities. And the romantic interest is interesting, but apart from that, it's quite dull.